Jared had always loved machines. From the moment he could hold a screwdriver, he had been fascinated by the way things worked. Starships, hover cars, robots, nothing seemed too complicated. So when a message arrived from the colony on Epsilon 7, asking him to repair an unusual vehicle, he didn't hesitate. The request was simple. Our car's navigation system is failing. Can you come? It sounded like a standard job, nothing extraordinary. The journey to Epsilon 7 had been smooth, almost peaceful. His small shuttle glided through the stars, past glowing nebulae and asteroid belts. Jared liked these quiet moments before work, when the galaxy felt infinite, and the problems of his day seemed small. He could imagine himself drifting forever among the stars if no one needed him. The colony appeared on the horizon as he approached. Unlike the bustling urban sprawl of Earth's cities, Epsilon 7's settlement was neat and elegant. With smooth white structures and soft blue lights, hover paths crisscrossed the area, connecting the buildings. Small gardens and artificial trees created pockets of calm. It was quiet here, almost like a place designed to make visitors breathe easier. Jared's shuttle landed on a designated pad beside a building shaped like a dome with glass panels. He packed his tools into a small, sturdy backpack and stepped out. The air was crisp, with a hint of the artificial atmosphere systems the colony relied on. He expected the usual, a worried owner, a few questions, maybe some complaints about the system malfunction. But as soon as he stepped through the door, everything shifted. She was standing there, near a sleek vehicle that looked more like a sculpture than a car. Its metal panels shimmered under the light, reflecting colors that seemed almost alive. And she was like nothing he had expected. Tall, with a confident posture, she moved with a kind of natural grace. Her hair caught the light, casting tiny reflections like a halo. But it wasn't just her looks, it was the way she carried herself. The intelligence in her eyes. The quiet calm that seemed to suggest she could solve any problem without panic or fuss. Jared realized, almost painfully, that he had forgotten why he had come. "Hello," she said, her voice smooth and warm. "You must be the mechanic." "Yes," Jared said, suddenly aware that he had been staring. I'm Jared." He reached out a hand, feeling slightly embarrassed at how obvious it was that he had been distracted. "I'm Leora," she replied, shaking his hand with a firm grip. "Thank you for coming so quickly. The car's navigation system has been acting strange, and we haven't been able to fix it ourselves." He nodded, trying to focus. "I'll take a look right away. Where's the main console?" She gestured toward the vehicle. "Inside. But be warned, it's not a simple AI. We've modified it ourselves." Jared's curiosity piqued. He loved a challenge, and a modified AI promised just that. He knelt beside the car and opened the main panel, revealing a maze of circuits, wires, and holographic interfaces. It was complex, but elegant. Whoever had built this had skill. "Impressive work," he said. "You didn't just upgrade it, you redesigned parts of the system." Leora smiled, leaning against the car. "We try. It's a hobby. And sometimes, a necessity." She tilted her head, studying him. "Do you like it?" "I do," he admitted. "It's fascinating. I like to see how people think differently when they design something." They spent the next few minutes in silence, Jared examining the circuits, Leora watching with interest. He realized that she didn't just own the car, she understood it. Every modification, every line of code, every interface decision, she could explain it all. And she did. Calmly, clearly, without a hint of arrogance. "This system," she said, pointing at a holographic display, "was meant to optimize energy consumption during long trips. But the navigation AI started taking shortcuts through low-density areas. It's efficient, but it's unpredictable." Jared nodded slowly. "I see. It's not broken. It's trying to be too clever." "Exactly," she said, smiling. "That's why we need someone who can guide it. Someone who understands machines, but also understands humans." As he worked, Jared found himself talking more than usual. He explained the principles behind some of his own designs, the small tricks he used to make machines more reliable. She listened attentively, asking questions, suggesting small adjustments. Their conversation flowed naturally, easy and engaging. The hours passed quickly. Every now and then, Jared would glance up, and she would be smiling at some small detail in his explanation or the interface. He felt a strange warmth, a mixture of admiration and excitement. It was unlike anything he had felt before during a job. He had come to fix a car, but now he realized that the task itself had become almost secondary. At one point, the vehicle's AI projected a holographic map of the colony and the surrounding terrain. "See?" she said, pointing. "It wants to take this route instead of the standard path. Efficient, yes, but risky in certain weather conditions." Jared studied the map, analyzing the paths. "It's trying to predict obstacles and save time. We can reroute it safely, but we'll need to adjust its predictive algorithm." "Will that be difficult?" she asked. "Not too much," he replied. "But it'll require careful planning." She nodded thoughtfully. "I like careful planning. I like thinking things through." They worked together, side by side, hands occasionally brushing as they adjusted panels or typed commands into holographic keyboards. Jared felt a strange sense of joy in this shared work, a feeling that went beyond professional satisfaction. It was human, genuine, and surprisingly rare in his experience with machines. By the time the sun, or what passed for the sun on Epsilon 7, began to set, Jared had traced the problem to a small sequence of corrupted code. It was subtle, almost invisible to anyone, without a trained eye. Together, they repaired it, rerouted the AI, and tested the system. The car hummed to life, smoothly navigating the holographic terrain. "Looks like it's working," Jared said, leaning back and wiping sweat from his forehead. "It's perfect," she said, her eyes bright with satisfaction. "Thank you, Jared. You didn't just fix it. You improved it." He smiled, feeling a surge of pride. "I couldn't have done it without your input. You know this system better than anyone." Leora's smile deepened, and for a moment, the world outside the dome seemed to disappear. Jared realized that he hadn't thought about leaving, about the shuttle waiting outside, or the rest of his day. All that mattered was this moment, this shared success, and the connection forming between them. Finally, he gathered his tools, preparing to leave. The shuttle awaited, but he hesitated, looking back at her. "I should probably head back," he said, though the words felt strange. "Of course," she replied, her voice gentle. "But I hope this isn't the last time we work together. There are other systems that need attention, other projects that could use your expertise." Jared nodded, feeling a spark of excitement. The repair had been just the beginning. Something larger was unfolding, and he didn't yet know what it would lead to. But one thing was clear. Coming here to fix a car had turned into something far more meaningful. As he stepped back onto the shuttle, he looked at her one last time. A small smile played on his lips. The galaxy was vast, full of endless possibilities, and here, on this quiet colony, he had found the first of many he wanted to explore with her. The stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter as he prepared for liftoff. And Jared realized that sometimes, the journey wasn't just about machines or work. Sometimes, it was about the unexpected moments that made life and humanity worth exploring. After leaving the dome, Jared floated through the quiet streets of Epsilon 7, still thinking about Leora. The shuttle hummed softly beneath him as he navigated back to the docking bay. But his mind was elsewhere. He replayed their conversation, the way her eyes lit up when she talked about the car's modifications, the subtle humor in her smile, and the way she seemed to understand not just machines, but the people who used them. He shook his head, trying to focus. "It's just a job," he muttered to himself. "A car repair. That's all." But he knew it wasn't just a job anymore. The shuttle docked smoothly, and Jared stepped onto the platform. He set his tools down and decided to take a short walk before heading back to his temporary quarters. The colony had an open courtyard lined with glowing plants and flowing water channels. The soft hum of energy fields and distant machinery created a calming atmosphere. He took a deep breath, letting the artificial oxygen fill his lungs, and tried to make sense of the strange pull he felt toward Leora. As he wandered, he realized that curiosity wasn't just about machines, it was about people, about understanding how they thought, why they acted, and what made them unique. And Leora was unique. The next morning, he returned to the dome. He had promised himself he was only coming back to check on the car, but he couldn't ignore the feeling that there was more to discover, more about the vehicle, about the colony, and about her. "Good morning," Leora said as he stepped inside. Her smile was welcoming, effortless, like the sun rising over the artificial gardens outside. "Morning," Jared replied, setting down his bag. "I just wanted to make sure the car's system is running smoothly. Sometimes, AI takes a little time to adjust after a repair." She nodded. "Of course, but I also thought you might like to see something else." She walked over to a corner of the dome, where a small, floating platform displayed a holographic star map. "I've been working on a project. I think you'll find it interesting." Jared's eyes lit up. "A star map? That's right up my alley. Let's see it." Leora activated the hologram, and a three-dimensional model of the galaxy appeared. Stars shimmered. Planets rotated slowly, and small lines indicated the routes of ships traveling across space. "I'm mapping potential energy-efficient travel paths," she explained. "Most routes are designed for speed, but speed consumes a lot of fuel. I'm trying to find routes that save energy without wasting time." "That's incredible," Jared said, leaning closer. "You've considered fuel efficiency, gravitational pulls, weather patterns, everything." She smiled. "It's not perfect yet, but it's a start. I wanted to see if someone like you could offer a fresh perspective." Jared felt a warmth in his chest. She wasn't just asking for help. She was inviting him to be part of something bigger. He realized that this was the essence of humanity: collaboration, curiosity, and a desire to improve the world around them. They spent hours discussing the project. Jared suggested minor algorithm changes, ways to adjust ship speeds based on planetary rotations, and methods to avoid energy-draining space currents. Leora listened carefully, asked questions, and occasionally challenged his ideas with her own. Their conversation was a dance of minds, fluid and engaging, each idea building on the last. At one point, the AI from the repaired car projected a small holographic display, showing the fastest and most efficient route for a supply ship. "See?" Leora said. "Even the car is contributing." Jared laughed. "It's learning from you. From both of us, actually. That's amazing." They moved to a table covered with blueprints and sketches of vehicles, colonies, and orbital stations. Leora picked up a small model of a hovercar. "I've been thinking about human intuition," she said. "Machines can calculate endlessly, but they don't always understand what feels right. Humans can sense risks and opportunities in ways AI can't yet." Jared nodded. "Exactly. That's why we need collaboration. Machines are brilliant, but they need humans to guide them, to add context and creativity." She looked at him with a soft intensity. "I can see why you were recommended for Epsilon 7. You don't just repair things, you understand them. And more importantly, you understand people." Jared felt a small thrill at her words. He realized that admiration wasn't just for her. It was mutual. There was respect, trust, and a sense of shared purpose growing between them. They spent the afternoon running simulations, tweaking routes, and testing new algorithms. As they worked, they shared small personal stories: Jared's childhood fascination with machines, Leora's years studying AI and interstellar navigation, their favorite planets, and the places they dreamed of visiting. Each story deepened their connection, revealing layers of personality, passion, and creativity. At one point, a soft chime echoed through the dome. The colony's central system was sending a minor alert about energy distribution. Leora glanced at the display. Nothing serious, just a fluctuation in the outer sectors. Jared examined the data. It's minor, but I see a pattern here. If we adjust these routes slightly, it could reduce energy strain across the colony. She nodded, impressed. You're quick to see patterns. I like that. Hours passed unnoticed. The sunlight outside shifted, casting golden reflections across the dome. Jared realized he hadn't thought about time in what felt like an eternity. The work was fulfilling, the conversation endless, and the connection between them undeniable. As the day ended, Leora activated the car again. Let's test it one more time, she said. The vehicle glided smoothly across the floor, following routes they had optimized together. Jared watched, feeling a sense of pride and wonder. It's perfect, he said, smiling. You've really created something special here. Leora met his gaze. Not just me, both of us. They stood in silence for a moment, the hum of the car and the soft lights of the dome surrounding them. Jared realized that the repair had been just the beginning. The true journey was not about fixing machines. It was about understanding, collaboration, and connection, the essence of humanity. Finally, Jared packed his tools, preparing to leave. I should probably get some rest, he said. Though he felt reluctant to leave. I understand, Leora replied. But I hope you'll return. There's so much more to explore together. Jared nodded, feeling excitement bloom in his chest. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and opportunities, and for the first time, he felt that the journey would be even more meaningful with someone to share it with. As he stepped onto the shuttle, he looked back at Leora one last time. She waved, her smile warm and inviting. Jared's heart swelled with anticipation for the next day, the next discovery, the next conversation. The simple job of repairing a car had become a gateway to something far greater: human connection, collaboration, and the endless possibilities of the cosmos. The stars outside glimmered, distant yet familiar, as the shuttle lifted off. Jared realized that even in the farthest reaches of space, humanity's curiosity, creativity, and warmth could shine brighter than any star. And in this moment, he knew he had found a kindred spirit in Leora. Someone whose mind and heart could inspire him to explore not just machines, but life itself. The next morning, Jared returned to Leora's dome, feeling a sense of excitement he hadn't expected. The shuttle ride across the quiet colony had been filled with thoughts of the previous day. The laughter, the shared ideas, the moments when their hands had brushed over circuits and holographic controls. He smiled to himself. Today promised more than just work on the car or star maps. Today felt like the start of something bigger. Leora greeted him with a bright smile. Good morning, Jared. Ready to continue? Absolutely, he said, setting down his bag. I was thinking about the energy routes we discussed yesterday. There's a way we might optimize them even further if we consider gravitational assists from nearby planets. Her eyes lit up. I love that idea. Let's see what we can do together. They moved to the corner where the star map floated in midair. With gestures and commands, Leora manipulated the holographic galaxy, highlighting planets, energy currents, and colony routes. Jared added his calculations, showing how a small shift in trajectory could reduce energy consumption without increasing travel time. This is incredible, Leora said, watching the simulations. The AI would never think of these subtle optimizations on its own. It needs a human touch. Exactly, Jared replied, feeling a surge of pride. Machines are amazing, but they can't sense what feels right the way we can. Hours passed as they refined the routes. Every new idea sparked discussion, sometimes debate, but always mutual respect. They challenged each other's assumptions, tested new solutions, and celebrated every small success. The air was filled with quiet laughter, thoughtful murmurs, and the soft hum of the AI as it projected test scenarios. At one point, Leora brought out a small drone. I've been experimenting with it, she explained. It can monitor energy fluctuations along the routes and provide real-time feedback. Jared's eyes widened. That's brilliant. With this, we can make adjustments dynamically. It's like giving the AI a way to learn from the environment. Leora nodded. Exactly. But I need someone to fine-tune the algorithms. The drone collects data perfectly, but it can't decide which adjustments are best. That's where you come in. Jared grinned. I'm ready. Let's do it. They worked together, side by side, adjusting code and calibrating the drone's sensors. Leora suggested improvements, and Jared implemented them. Their hands occasionally brushed, but they paid little attention, focused instead on the shared joy of creating something meaningful. As the afternoon sun or the colony's artificial sun shifted, they noticed the drone reporting unusual energy patterns in the outer sectors. That's strange, Jared said, studying the data. The AI didn't predict this fluctuation. Leora frowned. It's minor, but it could affect travel efficiency if left unchecked. Let's see if we can adjust the routes in real time. Opened USTB. And it is video 7. And one of the route sign. Jared's mind raced. He suggested a sequence of small reroutes that would prevent energy waste without altering travel time. Leora inputted the changes, and together they watched the simulation stabilize. It worked, she said, eyes sparkling. You're quick to see patterns, and you're quick to notice them in the first place, Jared replied. He realized that this partnership wasn't just about machines. It was about how humans could think together, combining observation, intuition, and creativity. As the evening approached, Leora suggested they take a break. She led him to a small balcony overlooking the colony. The view was breathtaking, glowing buildings, flowing water channels, and the stars beyond the colony's protective dome. This place is beautiful, Jared said softly. I could spend days just looking at it. Leora smiled. It's peaceful, isn't it? But there's always more to explore. And sometimes, the best discoveries happen when you least expect them. Jared nodded, feeling the truth in her words. He thought about the AI, the drone, the star maps, and the hours they had spent refining routes. He realized that the real discovery wasn't just about technology. It was about collaboration, trust, and the spark of human ingenuity that could make even machines better. After a short break, they returned to the dome to continue their work. Leora introduced a new challenge. A small fleet of colony transport vehicles that needed energy optimization. It's more complicated than a single car or drone, she explained. But I think we can handle it together. Jared studied the fleet's data. Each vehicle had unique characteristics, fuel efficiency, and energy demands. He suggested grouping them into clusters and adjusting their routes based on shared energy patterns. Leora added her insights, considering terrain, traffic, and potential environmental factors. Together, they ran simulations, watching as the fleet's energy usage decreased steadily. Each successful adjustment brought a sense of accomplishment. Not just from completing the task, but from doing it as a team. This is amazing, Leora said, leaning back in her chair. I didn't think we could reduce energy consumption by this much. Jared smiled. That's the beauty of collaboration. Two minds, working together, can solve problems a single mind might miss. As they continued refining the fleet's routes, their conversation shifted to broader topics. They discussed the future of interstellar travel, how humans could live sustainably on distant planets, and the role of AI in supporting human creativity rather than replacing it. Each idea sparked excitement and curiosity, and they found themselves imagining innovations far beyond the current colony. You know, Leora said, eyes bright, this is why I love working with humans. AI is brilliant, but it doesn't dream. Humans dream, and those dreams can change the galaxy. Jared nodded. Exactly. And sometimes, the best part is sharing those dreams with someone who understands them. For a long moment, they simply looked at each other, the energy of shared ideas and respect filling the room. Jared realized that this connection, this combination of minds, creativity, and curiosity, was rare and precious. It wasn't just about work. It was about discovering the best of humanity together. Finally, they ran one last simulation for the day. The fleet's energy usage had been optimized to near perfection. Jared and Leora watched the holographic display with satisfaction. The vehicles moved smoothly along their paths, consuming minimal energy, responding intelligently to environmental conditions, and following the optimized routes they had created together. "It's perfect," Jared said, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. "We did it. Not just us," Leora replied softly. "Humanity did it. Through collaboration, creativity, and care." Jared realized she was right. The achievement wasn't just technical. It was a reflection of human potential. Machines could assist, but humans with their curiosity, ingenuity, and empathy could guide them, improving systems and making life better for everyone. As he packed his tools, Leora approached him. "Thank you, Jared. Today was incredible. I hope this is only the beginning," Jared smiled. "I feel the same way. There's so much we can do together. I didn't expect a car repair to lead to this, but I'm glad it did." That, they shared a quiet laugh, the kind that comes from shared accomplishment and understanding. Jared realized that the work itself was rewarding, but the collaboration, the connection, the exchange of ideas, the mutual respect was even more fulfilling. As he stepped onto the shuttle to leave for the evening, he glanced back at the dome. Leora waved, and he felt a sense of warmth and excitement. This was more than a job, more than a project. It was the start of a partnership, a shared journey of discovery and growth. The stars outside seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the spark of creativity and humanity within him. Jared knew that the galaxy held endless challenges, endless opportunities, and endless wonders. But he also knew that, with someone like Leora by his side, every challenge could be met, every opportunity explored, and every wonder fully appreciated. The shuttle lifted off, carrying him toward his temporary quarters. But his mind remained with Leora, the dome, and the projects they had begun together. The day had been about machines, algorithms, and energy routes. But it had also been about something far greater: the joy of working together, learning from each other, and discovering the extraordinary potential of human collaboration. Jared leaned back in his seat, feeling content, inspired, and more alive than he had in a long time. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new discoveries, and perhaps new dreams to share, and he was ready for all of them, because in the far reaches of space, with endless possibilities surrounding him, he had found something priceless: the spark of human ingenuity, and the connection that made it shine brighter than any star. The following morning, Jared returned to the dome with a renewed sense of purpose. Each day with Leora revealed something new. Not just about the colony or the machines, but about human creativity and the joy of collaboration. Today, they had a new challenge. A minor anomaly had appeared in the colony's outer energy grid, and while it was not dangerous, it threatened efficiency across several transport routes. Leora greeted him with a warm smile. "Good morning, Jared. I was hoping you'd be here. The outer sectors have been showing strange energy fluctuations. I think it's more complex than the AI predicted." "Good morning," Jared said, setting down his bag. "Let's take a look. I enjoy puzzles, and this one sounds interesting." They approached a holographic display showing the energy grid. Lines of light represented the flow of energy through the colony, and small red flickers marked the areas of fluctuation. Jared frowned slightly. "It's subtle, but I see a pattern. The AI's algorithms didn't account for these micro-fluctuations in the outer sectors. It's like it's learning, but it's not quite fast enough." Leora nodded. "Exactly. That's why I wanted your input. I think a human touch could help the AI adapt more quickly." They spent the morning tracing the fluctuations, analyzing patterns, and running simulations. Jared suggested small adjustments to the energy flow algorithms, while Leora proposed real-time monitoring techniques. Together, they created a hybrid system. The AI would make minor adjustments automatically, but humans would intervene only when the pattern became too complex for the AI to predict. "This is brilliant," Leora said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We're combining intuition with computation. The AI learns faster, but it also relies on our creativity." "Exactly," Jared replied. "Machines are great at speed and precision, but humans can see the bigger picture, connect dots, and adjust when things don't follow the expected patterns." Hours passed as they refined the system. The AI projected simulations of the outer sectors, showing energy flows stabilizing under their adjustments. The flickering red lines disappeared one by one, replaced by smooth streams of light. Jared watched, impressed, but also deeply moved by the partnership forming between them. "You know," Leora said, leaning back slightly, "this reminds me why I love working on these systems. The technology is fascinating, but the collaboration, the human element, is what makes it truly special." Jared smiled. "I feel the same way. Machines are amazing, but humans, their curiosity, creativity, and intuition make all the difference. And working with someone who shares that perspective is even better." As they worked, they began discussing broader possibilities. Leora imagined expanding their energy optimization system to other colonies, creating a network of human-guided AI that could adapt to unexpected changes across planets. Jared contributed ideas about drones that could monitor energy in real time, or AI assistants that could predict patterns based on human input. Every suggestion built on the last, and their conversation flowed effortlessly. By midday, they decided to test the system in a small, controlled environment. Leora brought out a miniature model of the colony, complete with tiny vehicles, energy conduits, and holographic grids. They ran simulations together, adjusting parameters and observing the results. The AI adapted faster than either of them expected, responding to changes in real time while still following the strategies they had designed. "This is incredible," Jared said, leaning over the model. "The AI is learning from us, but it's also teaching us new possibilities. Look at how the energy distribution changed after that minor adjustment," Leora smiled. "It's a perfect example of humanity and technology working together. Each complements the other. We provide intuition, creativity, and context, and the AI provides speed, accuracy, and consistency." They continued running simulations, each scenario more complex than the last. The AI handled traffic patterns, energy fluctuations, and even unexpected environmental changes. Jared realized that the real achievement wasn't just technical, it was a reflection of human ingenuity and adaptability. They had created a system where humans and machines worked in harmony, each enhancing the strengths of the other. As the afternoon sun shifted, Leora suggested a break. They stepped onto the balcony overlooking the colony. The view was breathtaking, flowing water channels, glowing plants, and the distant stars of the galaxy beyond the dome. "You know," Leora said thoughtfully, "it's moments like these that make all the work worthwhile. Not just solving problems, but seeing the results of collaboration and creativity. The colony runs smoother, energy flows efficiently, and we've learned something new together." Jared nodded. "It's amazing, isn't it? Machines are impressive, but the real magic happens when humans guide them. That's what makes our work meaningful." They stood in silence for a moment, enjoying the calm and the sense of accomplishment. Jared felt a deep connection to the work, the colony, and to Leora. The collaboration had created more than a technical solution. It had created trust, understanding, and a shared vision. After the break, they returned to the dome to finalize the system. Leora activated the outer sector AI interface, and they observed the live data as the algorithms implemented their adjustments. The energy grid stabilized, flowing smoothly, efficiently, and reliably. Even minor fluctuations were automatically corrected, demonstrating the success of their collaboration. "This is it," Jared said quietly, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. "Everything is working as intended." Leora smiled. Not just working, thriving. The system adapts, improves, and learns. And we helped it get here. They spent the rest of the afternoon fine-tuning small details, ensuring that the system was fully optimized. Jared realized that this experience was more than just technical work. It was a celebration of human potential. Through observation, creativity, and collaboration, they had enhanced the colony's efficiency in ways that no single mind or machine could have achieved alone. Finally, as the day drew to a close, Jared prepared to leave. He packed his tools carefully, but he lingered near the dome's entrance, reluctant to part from the shared energy of creativity and discovery. "You did amazing work today," Leora said softly. "I couldn't have done it without you," Jared smiled. "And I couldn't have done it without you. We make a good team." Their eyes met, and for a moment, words were unnecessary. The satisfaction of collaboration, the joy of discovery, and the warmth of human connection filled the space between them. Jared realized that this partnership, this blending of minds, ideas, and hearts, was rare and precious. As he stepped onto the shuttle to return to his quarters, he looked back at Leora. She waved, her smile both encouraging and inspiring. Jared felt a sense of excitement for the days ahead, for the projects yet to explore, and for the shared journey that was unfolding between them. The stars outside the shuttle glimmered with possibilities. Jared thought about the colony, the AI, the outer sector grid, and the countless opportunities for improvement and exploration. But more than anything, he thought about collaboration, the way humans could guide, enhance, and inspire technology, and the way shared vision and creativity could bring extraordinary results. Jared leaned back in his seat, feeling a sense of contentment and anticipation. The discovery of the outer sector anomaly had been just one small step, but it represented something much larger. The limitless potential of human ingenuity, when combined with curiosity, cooperation, and respect. As the shuttle glided through the colony's quiet streets, Jared realized that the real reward wasn't the system itself, or even the efficiency they had achieved. It was the shared experience, the collaboration, and the connection that reminded him why he loved exploring, creating, and learning. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities, and perhaps new discoveries, and he was ready. Inspired by the knowledge that humanity, with its creativity, empathy, and adaptability, could overcome any challenge, enhance any system, and illuminate even the most distant reaches of space. Because in this quiet colony, amidst machines, algorithms, and energy grids, Jared had discovered something extraordinary. The brilliance of human ingenuity, the power of collaboration, and the joy of working together to make the impossible possible. The next morning, Jared arrived at the dome with a sense of anticipation. Over the past few days, what had started as a simple car repair had grown into something far more significant. Together, he and Leora had optimized energy routes, refined AI systems, and even explored ideas for improving the entire colony. Today, they planned to finalize a few remaining adjustments and test the full network in real time. "Good morning, Jared," Leora said, smiling as always. Her energy and warmth greeted him like the first rays of sunlight. "Ready to see the system working as a whole?" "Absolutely," he replied, setting down his bag. "I'm eager to see how it all comes together." They walked to the center of the dome, where the main holographic interface displayed the colony and its surrounding sectors. Streams of light represented energy flowing through grids, vehicles following optimized paths, and drones monitoring every detail. Jared felt a surge of pride. What once had been a collection of disconnected systems now looked like a living network. Responsive, intelligent, and efficient. "Let's start with the outer sectors," Leora suggested. "If everything stabilizes there, we can expand the adjustments across the colony." Jared nodded, tapping into the controls. Together, they ran the simulation. The outer sector grids adjusted in real time, reacting to fluctuations, rerouting energy where needed, and even predicting minor shifts before they occurred. Red flickers disappeared, replaced by smooth streams of flowing light. "It's beautiful," Jared said softly. Like a symphony of energy. Leora smiled, her eyes reflecting the holographic display. It's more than that. It's a reflection of what humans can do when we combine intuition, creativity, and collaboration. The machines help us, but we guide them. For hours, they tested and refined the system. Jared suggested minor tweaks to increase efficiency during peak traffic, while Leora adjusted drone monitoring paths to ensure maximum coverage. Each adjustment improved the network, and the AI adapted instantly. They worked seamlessly, anticipating each other's moves, discussing solutions, and sharing insights. As the sun or artificial sunlight shifted in the sky, Leora paused. I think it's ready for the final test, she said. Real-time operation, no simulations. Let's see how the colony responds. 2. Jared's heart raced. This was the moment their work would truly be measured. He tapped a few commands, and the system went live. Immediately, streams of energy shifted. Vehicles adjusted their paths, and drones moved efficiently across sectors. The outer grids held steady. Traffic flowed smoothly, and minor fluctuations were corrected instantly. Jared and Leora watched, silent for a few moments, marveling at the system's performance. It's working perfectly, Jared said, a mixture of awe and pride in his voice. Everything we've done. It's functioning as we imagined. Leora nodded, smiling. Not just as we imagined, better than we imagined. The AI learned from us, adapted, and improved on its own. And we guided it. They stood together, observing the network. Jared realized that the achievement wasn't just technical. It was human. The system reflected creativity, intuition, and collaboration, the very essence of what made humanity extraordinary. Machines could enhance these qualities, but it was the human spark that made the difference. After a pause, Leora suggested they take a walk. They left the dome and walked through the colony, observing the changes in real time. Vehicles moved smoothly, energy lights glowed steadily, and the soft hum of drones filled the air. Residents went about their day, unaware of the precise adjustments keeping their lives running efficiently, yet benefiting from them every second. This is incredible, Jared said, watching a small transport vehicle glide past. We improved life here without anyone even noticing. That's the beauty of it, Leora replied. The best solutions are often invisible. They work quietly, making everything better without demanding attention. As they walked, Jared realized how much he had learned from Leora. She wasn't just brilliant with machines. She understood people, systems, and the subtle connections that made everything function smoothly. Her calm intelligence, curiosity, and creativity had inspired him, and he realized something else. He had grown as a person. The days spent collaborating with her had shown him that human potential wasn't just about solving problems. It was about learning from others, sharing ideas, and finding joy in discovery. They returned to the dome as the day shifted toward evening. Jared helped Leora make final adjustments, ensuring that the network would continue to operate efficiently without constant supervision. The AI projected a final map, showing smooth energy flows, optimized transport paths, and fully operational drones monitoring every sector. It's perfect, Leora said, her voice soft and content. Everything we've worked on. It's complete. Jared smiled. Yes. But more importantly, we did it together. And that's what makes it meaningful. For a long moment, they simply stood side by side, watching the holographic display. Jared felt a profound sense of satisfaction, not just from completing the project, but from the journey they had shared. They had started with a simple car repair and ended with an entire colony functioning more efficiently, guided by human insight and collaboration. Finally, Jared realized it was time to leave. His temporary assignment on Epsilon 7 was ending, and the shuttle awaited. He packed his tools, feeling a mix of accomplishment and reluctance. Leora walked with him to the docking bay. I'm going to miss having you around, she said, her voice sincere. Your insight, your creativity. It's rare. I'll miss this too, Jared admitted. And you, Working with you has been inspiring. You've taught me more than I expected. They paused near the shuttle, the hum of its engines filling the quiet air. Jared looked at her, feeling a surge of gratitude and admiration. I hope this isn't the last time we collaborate, he said. Leora smiled warmly. It won't be. There's so much more to explore together. Systems, colonies, ideas. The galaxy is full of possibilities. Jared nodded, feeling a spark of excitement. The work on Epsilon 7 had opened a new path, one that combined creativity, collaboration, and the thrill of discovery. It wasn't just about machines or energy grids. It was about humanity and the incredible things humans could achieve when they worked together. As he stepped into the shuttle, he looked back at Leora. She waved, and he waved in return. The stars beyond the dome seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the possibilities that awaited them. The shuttle lifted off smoothly, carrying Jared above the colony. He gazed out at the settlement below, at the flowing energy lights and smoothly moving vehicles, and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The colony was running better because of their work, but the true achievement was the collaboration, the shared creativity, and the human connection that had made it all possible. During the flight back to his quarters, Jared reflected on the journey. What had started as a simple repair job had become a celebration of human potential. Machines were remarkable, but humans had something machines could never replicate: intuition, creativity, empathy, and the ability to connect ideas in ways that led to progress and improvement. He thought about Leora, her brilliance, her calm intelligence, and her ability to see possibilities he might have missed alone. Together, they had discovered something extraordinary. The power of collaboration, the joy of shared accomplishment, and the beauty of guiding technology with humanity's best qualities. By the time he arrived at his quarters, night had fallen over Epsilon 7. The colony glowed softly under the stars, efficient, alive, and thriving. Jared knew that the work they had done would continue to benefit the people here, and that future projects could expand the system even further. He unpacked his tools, but his mind remained with Leora and the dome. He realized that the true reward wasn't the completion of a system or the optimization of energy routes. It was the experience, the shared journey, and the understanding that humanity's potential was limitless when guided by curiosity, creativity, and collaboration. Jared leaned back in his chair, feeling content, inspired, and energized. The galaxy stretched endlessly before him, full of possibilities, and for the first time, he felt certain that wherever he went next, he would carry with him the lessons of Epsilon 7. The importance of collaboration, the joy of discovery, and the power of human ingenuity. As he gazed out at the stars, he smiled. This was only the beginning. The journey ahead was filled with unknown challenges, exciting opportunities, and new horizons to explore. But he knew one thing for sure. With someone like Leora to share the journey, every challenge could become a discovery, every problem an opportunity, and every moment a chance to celebrate the best of humanity. And in the quiet hum of his quarters, Jared realized that sometimes a simple job, a car repair, could lead to something far greater than he had ever imagined. Because in the far reaches of space, amidst machines, algorithms, and energy flows, humans had something extraordinary: curiosity, creativity, collaboration, and the ability to inspire one another. And together, they could make the galaxy a brighter, better, and more remarkable place. Jared closed his eyes, content, ready for whatever the stars had in store. And somewhere, far below, in the glowing dome of Epsilon 7, Leora looked up at the same stars, smiling, knowing that their journey and their partnership had only just begun.